Welcome to Portugal Property Insider, brought to you by the expert team at Private Luxury Collection. If you're thinking about buying, investing, or relocating to Portugal, especially the Algarve, you're in the right place. We cut through the noise to bring you straight-talking insights on luxury real estate, legal updates, market trends, and everything you need to make smart property decisions from abroad. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a seasoned investor, or simply dreaming of a life in the sun, this is your trusted guide to navigating Portugal's high-end property market, one conversation at a time.
Welcome to Portugal Property Insider, your essential compass for navigating the exciting, sometimes complex world of Portuguese real estate. I'm Keely, and along with the team at Private Luxury Collection, we're here to cut through the glossy brochures and get straight to the genuine, unvarnished truth about buying, investing, and living in this incredible country. Our mission? To arm you with the insider knowledge and practical insights you need to make truly informed decisions, especially when it comes to luxury real estate in the Algarve and beyond. Today's episode is perhaps the most crucial one we could kick off with. It's the conversation many wish they had had before they started their property search, before they fell in love with a postcard perfect villa, and certainly before they made an offer. I'm going to walk you through the entire life cycle of a property purchase in Portugal. Not the idealised version, but the real one, complete with the nuances, the potential pitfalls, and the strategies for success that only come from years of on-the-ground experience. From the initial spark of an idea to holding the keys in your hand, I'll be covering it all, step by step. So before you even open a property portal or dream of endless sunny days, the absolute first non-negotiable step is to get crystal clear on your non-negotiables. And I mean crystal clear. This isn't just about ticking boxes on a wish list. It's about defining your future lifestyle and investment goals. I've seen countless times clients start by browsing online, fall head over heels for a stunning property, only to realise much later that it's miles from amenities or the perfect golf course, or lacks that critical extra bedroom for visiting family. This isn't just a waste of time, it can lead to significant emotional and financial frustration down the line. So ask yourself, what does your ideal day in Portugal look like? Is it waking up to the sound of the waves with the beach a stone's throw away? Or do you crave the tranquility and expansive views of the rolling hills, perhaps for space for a vegetable garden or horses? How many bedrooms do you truly need, considering not just your immediate family, but also potential guests, a home office, or even a dedicated fitness space? Crucially, define the purpose of this property. Will it be your primary residence, a seasonal holiday escape, or a savvy investment property aimed to generate rental income? Each of these objectives dictates a very different search strategy. A prime rental property, for instance, might prioritise proximity to tourist attractions and amenities, whilst a quiet family home might prioritise privacy and community. And if you're embarking on this journey with a partner or family, this alignment phase is paramount. I cannot overstate this. Have these discussions early. I've unfortunately witnessed perfectly good deals unravel at the 11th hour because one spouse suddenly remembered a non-negotiable that hadn't been discussed. Perhaps the insistence of a specific school district or the absolute need for an additional ensuite bathroom. Investing this time up front maps out your priorities while dramatically reducing emotional decision-making and wasted effort later in the process. It's about buying smart, not just buying beautiful. So, if you're planning to finance your Portuguese property purchase, This step needs to start almost in parallel with your property search. While it's true you don't need a NIF or a bank account to submit an offer, you absolutely do need to understand your borrowing capacity early on if you intend to secure a mortgage. Many buyers mistakenly believe that they can find their dream home, make an offer, and then start the mortgage process. This is a common pitfall that can lead to disappointment and potentially losing out on a desired property. In a competitive market, a pre-approved buyer is always a stronger buyer. Here's the reality. Portuguese banks will provide you with a mortgage pre-approval based on your financial profile. So your income, existing debts, credit history, and so on. They will assess your affordability ratio, which typically means your total monthly debt repayments, including the prospective Portuguese mortgage, which shouldn't exceed around 30 to 35% of your net income. This pre-approval gives you a clear indication of how much you can realistically borrow. It allows you to search for properties within a confirmed budget, making your offer far more credible to sellers. However, and this is a critical point, this initial pre-approval is subject to final approval on the specific property you choose. The bank will commission an independent valuation of the property you wish to buy. The final loan amount and the terms will depend on that valuation. For non-residents, Portuguese banks typically lend between 60 and 80% of the lower of the purchase price or the valuation. So even if you're pre-approved for, say, 500,000 euros, if the property you offer on is valued by the bank at 400,000 euros, your mortgage will be based on that lower figure. This means you need to have a buffer and be prepared for potential adjustments to your equity contribution. Starting this process early with a trusted mortgage broker who specialises in non-resident mortgages in Portugal is highly advisable. They can guide you through the documentation, manage communications with the bank, and help you understand the nuances of loan-to-value ratios and affordability criteria, ensuring you're a well-prepared and confident buyer. Now, following on from our discussions on mortgages, let's briefly revisit the initial steps. There's a persistent myth that circulates among international buyers that you need to have every piece of documentation, every I dotted, every T crossed, before you can even think about making an offer on a property in Portugal. Let me be definitively clear and tell you this is simply not true. You do not need a Portuguese tax number, known as a NIF, to submit an offer. Similarly, you are not required to have a Portuguese bank account open and ready before you can begin the buying process. While you will absolutely need a NIF before you sign any legally binding document like the promissory contract, and you'll eventually need a way to transfer funds for the purchase, the initial offer stage is often about demonstrating serious intent and securing the property. Your lawyer can guide you on the exact timings for obtaining your NIF, which typically takes a few days to a week with the right support. Many of my clients have successfully completed their transactions using international payment providers, which can offer a far better exchange rate than traditional banks, or by transferring funds directly to their lawyer's client account for the necessary payments. The key is to understand the sequence and when each piece of the puzzle truly becomes essential. Now, understanding the real estate brokerage landscape in Portugal is crucial, as it differs significantly from what many buyers from the US, the UK, or Canada might be accustomed to. Unlike those markets, Portugal largely operates on a dual agency model. This means that a single agent or agency can technically represent both the buyer and the seller in a transaction. Whilst this isn't inherently problematic, it can become a significant red flag if not handled with absolute transparency and clear delineation of loyalties. You'll encounter various types of agents. There are buyer's agents who might charge you an upfront fee, sometimes substantial, just to source properties. Often, these are listings you've already seen widely advertised online. Then there are listing agents who work exclusively for the seller and are solely focused on securing the highest price for their client, often reluctant to share information or cooperate unless they hold exclusivity on the property. Somewhere in between these extremes, you'll find the true professionals, the ones who act as genuine consultants. At Private Luxury Collection, myself and my team position ourselves differently. We don't just open doors, we act as your strategic advisors. Our approach is proactive. We don't just wait for listings to appear, we actively seek out properties, including a significant number of selectly sourced and off-market opportunities that perfectly align with our clients' needs. Now, our primary objective is to represent your best interests, to negotiate for you, and to guide you through every twist and turn of the process. I've seen the other side as well. Agents who claim to represent the buyer only to subtly push them towards whatever property is easiest for them to sell, or where they stand to gain the highest commission, regardless of whether it's in the best interest of the client. This lack of true advocacy can cost buyers dearly, both in terms of price and suitability of the property. So the bottom line here is critical. Do your homework on your agent. Ask direct questions. How are you compensated? Where do your loyalties truly lie? Can you demonstrate how you've advocated for past buyers? A truly professional agent will be transparent about their remuneration and, more importantly, will be able to clearly articulate how they add value specifically to you, the buyer. They will help you avoid the common traps, connect you with the right independent legal and financial professionals, and navigate the entire process with your best interests as their unwavering priority. This is an investment in peace of mind. Now let's talk about the money side of things, because this is where many international buyers harbour significant misconceptions. There's a lingering perception that Portugal is cheap and that you can throw down an offer of 20 or even 30% below asking and still be taken seriously. Let me be blunt. That thinking is outdated and frankly wrong in today's market. In strong, desirable markets like Villamora, Quinta do Lago, or pretty much any beachfront location across the Algarve, expect to pay very close to the asking price, especially for well-maintained, desirable properties. The market has matured significantly, driven by strong international demand and limited supply in prime areas. Are discounts possible? Yeah, absolutely, but don't expect massive markdowns. In many cases, particularly with turnkey, sea view and newly constructed homes, offers of only 2% below the asking price are even considered normal and possibly accepted. You might push for 5 to 10% off properties that have been on the market for an extended period of time, or for those that require significant renovation, but anything more aggressive is likely to be dismissed out of hand. Sellers in Portugal, especially those with desirable assets, are often patient and well informed about market values. So, what can help you negotiate effectively beyond just the number? Being a cash buyer is a powerful lever, as it simplifies and accelerates the transaction, reducing risk for the seller. Flexibility on the closing date can also be appealing, perhaps allowing the seller a bit more time to relocate. Being decisive and demonstrating serious intent from the outset can also work in your favour. Remember, negotiation isn't just about the final price tag, it's a broader conversation. I've successfully leveraged other aspects like the inclusion of furniture, appliances, or specific renovation work into a deal. Sometimes securing a faster closing time or a more favourable payment schedule can be just as valuable as a minor price reduction, especially if it helps you secure a highly sought after property before another buyer swoops in. A skilled broker will help you identify these leverage points and craft an offer that stands out for the right reasons. Once your offer has been accepted, before you even consider signing the promissory contract, there are two crucial steps that demand your immediate attention: property inspection or survey, and comprehensive legal due diligence by your independent lawyer. While it's not a legal requirement in Portugal to get a property inspection, it is an absolute best practice, especially for older properties or those that have seen significant renovation. Think of it as your safety net. A professional independent surveyor or engineer will conduct a thorough examination of the property's structural integrity, plumbing, electrical systems, roof, and general overall condition. They'll identify any hidden defects, potential issues, or areas requiring significant repair that might not have been visible during a casual viewing. Now, we offer to connect our clients with trusted, qualified professionals for this. The peace of mind alone is worth the investment. An inspection report can also serve as leverage in price negotiation if significant issues are uncovered, or it might even lead to you reconsidering the purchase if the problems are too extensive. Simultaneously and equally critical, your independent Portuguese lawyer will be conducting their own exhaustive legal due diligence. This isn't just about paperwork check, it's a deep dive into legal history and status of the property. They will confirm the legal ownership, ensuring the seller truly has the right to sell and that there are no encumbrances, third-party claims, or outstanding legal disputes attached to the property. They will check for planning permissions and restrictions. This is vital. Is the property legally compliant with local planning regulations? Are there any restrictions on future development, alteration, or specific usage? This is particularly crucial in rural areas or protected zones where regulation can be more stringent. They'll verify the property's licenza de utilization, or the habitation license, or if it's a new build, the license for construction. They'll also verify tax compliance, ensuring all municipal taxes and other levies have been paid up to date and there are no outstanding debts tied to the property. And crucially, they will confirm the house matches its approved plans. This cannot be stressed enough, especially for older properties or for those that have undergone extensions or modifications. If the physical structure does not precisely match the plans registered with the local council, you could inherit a significant legal and financial headache, potentially facing fines or even demolition orders. I've seen situations where this oversight has cost buyers hundreds of thousands of euros. These two processes, a thorough inspection and rigorous legal due diligence, are designed to provide you with a complete picture of the property's physical and legal health before you become legally bound. Once your inspection results are clear and your lawyer has given the green light on the due diligence, you'll move to the promissory contract, or the Contrato Promessa de Compra e Venda, which is shortened as CPCV. This is arguably one of the most critical legal documents in the entire process. It typically takes 2 to 4 weeks for the lawyers, yours and the sellers, to draft and finalise this once due diligence is complete, as this period allows them to do all those necessary checks. Once signed by both parties, the CPCV is legally binding. This is your firm commitment to purchase and the seller's firm commitment to sell. It will outline all the agreed upon terms: the purchase price, the payment schedule, the final deed date, and crucially, any special conditions or clauses. Here's where strategic negotiation with your agent and lawyer can become vital. If for any reason you cannot complete your mortgage approval or the property inspection before the CPCV signing, which again I strongly advise against if possible, it is absolutely essential to negotiate with the seller to have your lawyer insert conditional clauses into the CPCV. For example, you might include a clause for subject to finance, stating that the contract is conditional upon you securing a mortgage approval for the specific amount by a certain date. Or an inspection contingency clause could be added, allowing you to withdraw from the purchase or renegotiate if the inspection reveals significant undisclosed defects that were not factored into the agreed price. Without such clauses, if you, as the buyer, back out of the deal for any reason, including a failed mortgage application or a terrible inspection report, you will typically forfeit your entire deposit to the seller. Conversely, if the seller backs out, they are legally obliged to repay you double your deposit and compensation. This mechanism ensures serious intent from both sides. Now, the standard deposit for resale properties is typically 10% of the purchase price, paid upon signing the CPCV. However, for new builds, it can be substantially higher, often 20% or even 30%, usually structured with stage payments tied to construction process. Unlike some other countries, these deposits are typically paid directly to the seller or into their lawyer's client account, not held in escrow by a neutral third party. This reinforces why your independent legal counsel and a clear CPCV are your ultimate safeguards. Once all the terms and conditions outlined in your promissory contract have been satisfied and all due diligence is complete, the final step is the signing of the final deed, or escritura, in front of a public notary. It's important to understand the notary's role in Portugal. While they are highly qualified legal professionals, often holding law degrees, their primary function is to verify the legality of the documents and ensure the transaction complies with Portuguese law. They are essentially witnesses to the signing, confirming identities and ensuring the proper transfer of ownership. They do not protect your specific interests in the way your private lawyer does. That is exclusively your lawyer's responsibility. On the day of the deed, typically at the notary office, this is where the financial accumulation occurs. You will pay the remaining balance of the purchase price. This is usually done via a certified bank check or direct debit transfer, meticulously arranged by your lawyer. Crucially, it's also when you will pay the necessary transfer taxes. The most significant is the IMT, which is the Municipal Property Transfer Tax. This is calculated on a progressive scale based on the purchase price of the property's taxable asset value, and varies depending on whether it's your primary residence, secondary residence, rural or rustic, or commercial property. You will also pay the stamp duty, typically a fixed rate of 0.8% on the purchase price, and your lawyer will ensure these taxes are paid before or at the time of the signing of the deed, as the notary will not proceed without confirmation of payment. Finally, at this moment, you will formally transfer ownership of the property from the seller to you, and the property will then be immediately registered in your name at the land registry and the tax office. The signing of the escritura is a moment of great excitement, but it's also a highly detailed and precise legal event where your lawyer's meticulous preparation will shine through. They ensure every detail is correct, every payment is accounted for, allowing you to walk away with the keys in hand and the legal peace of mind that the property is truly yours. Congratulations, you've signed the deed, you've received the keys. Now you're the proud owner of a property in Portugal. While the excitement is palpable, it is important to understand that the process doesn't end the moment you walk out of the notary office. There's a crucial after-sales phase that many buyers aren't prepared for. For instance, utilities. Unlike some countries where you simply connect new services, in Portugal, utilities, electricity, water, gas, are usually transferred into your name. New connections, if required, can take several weeks and often involve significant setup fees. Your lawyer will often assist with this initial transfer. Registration and tax documents. While the notary facilitates the initial registration, it can take several weeks for the property to be fully updated into your name at the land registry and at the tax office, and your lawyer will oversee this. And then there's ongoing management. Now comes the less glamorous but equally important side of ownership: furnishings, renovations, garden and pool maintenance, or setting up a rental operation if it's an investment property. You'll also need to be aware of an annual property taxes like IMI or potentially AIMI if your property value is higher. While at Private Luxury Collection we don't provide ongoing property management services, we consider our role to extend beyond the transaction. We act as your dedicated concierge and trusted resource. We've built an extensive network of highly vetted, reliable professionals, from architects and builders to property managers, gardeners and interior designers. We're here to introduce you to the right people, ensuring you're not left scrambling or resorting to unreliable recommendations in your new country. It's about ensuring your transition into the Portuguese life is as seamless and stress-free as possible. As you can see, buying property in Portugal is a nuanced journey, distinct from many other markets. It requires careful planning, diligent research, and critically, the right team of independent advisors by your side. But with the right guidance, the right expert advice, and a clear understanding of each stage, it is not just entirely doable, it is profoundly rewarding. The lifestyle, the beauty, the culture, the investment potential here are truly exceptional. So if you're contemplating making this move, if you're ready to explore what's truly possible, or if you simply want a clearer, more tailored picture of the process for your specific situation, we invite you to schedule a one-on-one consultation with our experienced team at Private Luxury Collection. We're here to help you avoid the common pitfalls, unlock off-market opportunities, and ultimately find the perfect place to call home under the Portuguese sun. Thank you for tuning in to Portugal Property Insider. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts for more no-nonsense advice and genuine insights on property, lifestyle, and living well in the Algarve. Until next time, stay curious, stay smart, and stay sun-kissed.